Hi, my name is Ron Blackburn. Welcome to the Building Trust podcast. And we're all about talking to those individuals who live their life or companies from a culture of trust. And that's why somebody's here to see us, but I'm going to let Stephanie introduce us first. Stephanie Fagan's my co-podcast.
Thank you, Ron Blackburn.
This is our fourth podcast of the day, so.
Yes, it's been a little
McAllen
warm
12s
today, and
hot. Yeah.
I was going to mention the McAllen 12s. I don't think they had anything to do with that little hiccup there.
Nothing.
But we have sitting here a very enthusiastic young lady. Her name is Shannon Parsons, and she's an empathetic leader whose experience is a unique blend of transformational leadership mixed with a delivery mechanism of heart-centered structure. I'm going to have you explain that in just a minute. As a former transformational coach and facilitator, so you're not anymore? Okay.
Only on the special requests.
Okay, for special spectrum. Let's see. She's worked at the largest organizations in the world as a speaker, facilitator, trainer to the executives, entrepreneurs, and business organizations who need to level up, all you gamers, their expertise. Known fondly by senior executives like Greg Reed, founder of Secret Knock, and Scott Duffy, top business and global business coach as the secret weapon. And she's kind of like Mighty Mouse. She's this little tiny package. She's like dynamite. You can just tell just by looking at her. She's just radiating, waiting to burst. So I'm just going to go ahead and hand it over because I'm afraid to continue. Go.
Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Thank you for creating this amazing space to play.
Yeah, thanks for coming, by the way, because as you know, the show's Building Trust, and everything you do is about trust. And even beyond that, it's like like we had Natalie on before talking about happiness. It's like you've just taken it to the euphoria, if you will.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I accept. I spent so much of my childhood not in euphoria, in a lot of pain and heartache and suffering and finding my own way, and being able to transform through all of that and become the butterfly from the caterpillar has allowed me to live in a joyful place. So I'm really grateful for all the teachers that I've had that have helped me get to this place where I get to look at the world with rose-colored glasses.
Well, I love you talk about that journey, and for myself as well, it was weird when I realized that I can experience joy whenever I decide to feel it, and I don't have to earn it on some standard that's not my own. So once you start living in that state of joy, then joy just comes around you everywhere you look.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love seeing your story, and I only know a glimpse of it, so I'm excited to hear more about what you're doing with Secret Knock and Secret Knock Women, which is
Yes, that's what I wanted to touch on because I didn't add that to your bio, but I did read about Secret Knock, and for those that don't know what it is, you want to explain what that is and how that segued over how you
such a cool name to start with, too.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Secret
Well,
Knock.
Greg and his ex-wife created Secret Knock in their living room over 13 years ago, and somebody said, well, how are we going to get in? And Greg said, oh, just do the Secret Knock. And so it just kind of became the name. But it's the #1 must-attend business event for entrepreneurs and business owners. And what he has been doing for these past 13 years is bringing together really cool, like-minded, positive-focused people who want to make a big impact in the world. And the way that he has kept this perfect reputation is by having everybody apply before you're allowed to buy a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is we have a conversation with somebody, and you can tell right off the bat if you resonate with someone, if they're going to be a good fit. Anybody who's super braggadocious and is basically throwing a business card in your face, we don't want you. You're not welcome as part of the tribe, because the main thing that we want people to ask is, who are you? What are you working on? How can I help? So he's been doing that for all these years. I've been working with him for a little over 2 years. And at one of our events, a woman said, hey, we should do a Secret Knock for women. And Greg looks at me and goes, Shannon, that one's for you. So last November, we launched Secret Knock Women, and it was amazing. And we're really excited to be able to do it again as soon as the world opens back up.
It's your voluntold.
Are you going to train?
Voluntold.
Yeah, so what's the story about some people have power thrust upon them and something like that? I can't remember now, but we'll look it up later.
Yeah.
For me, when I first met Greg, he said, Shannon, you're pretty cool. Why are you not more successful? And I said, you know what? I just don't think I've had the opportunities. I've done all the personal development work. I've been working on myself, working through my traumas, healing, doing all this stuff, but I haven't had the opportunities. And when I met Greg, I was just starting my entrepreneurial journey and dipping my toes out into the big world of new awesomeness. And that's what he's provided for me, is all these opportunities. So I made the agreement with myself to say yes and figure it out later.
I mean, there's so many stories about what Greg Reed has done with Secret Knock, and he just puts everybody in the same room, if you will.
Yeah.
And you've got, people like Jack Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. You want to write a book, you're going to talk to him, and he's going to talk on stage, but yet you get to raise your hand and go, wait a minute, how does this work? And then you have dinner with him later, and it's just a real unusual environment. It's so rare.
How did you meet Greg Reed?
Oh, this is okay, the origin story. Okay, so I was brand new in my entrepreneurial journey, getting myself out there and deciding that I wanted to have my own business and be my own person. And I was headed to an event. I purchased a ticket. I was on my way. It's a 2-hour drive. And I was in the car, and I just had one of those moments. And I joke that I pray to Gus, which stands for God, Universe, and Spirit, because I don't want to leave anybody out.
I do the same thing.
Right?
I'm going to cover all bases.
I'm going to cover all my bases. And I've got one sitting in the front seat, 2 sitting in the back seat.
Yeah.
So we're all driving up to this event together. And it was just one of those moments where you know when you're ready for that next phase of your life, because either something happens outside of you that pushes you, or you feel it inside. And I was feeling that calling inside me that I wanted to do something different, but I didn't know what it was. I was working as a transformational coach and seeing clients one at a time as a solopreneur working in a home office, but I felt like I was like a flower that was like starting to shrivel up. And I knew it wasn't good for me because I needed to be around other people, but I didn't know how to make the shift between what I was doing and something new.
We've had so many podcasts with the same story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you
Yeah, I
just
love
know. I love that. Yeah.
And and if you take action on that knowing, put yourself out there, step outside
Right.
your comfort zone, that's where the magic happens. So I'm driving in the car and I say, all right, Gus, you know who I am, you know what I'm capable of. I have no idea what I want, so I don't know what to ask for. So you need to put the right person and the right opportunity in my path and make it so damn obvious that they are sitting right next to me. So I get to this event and they need help. So instead of going in, even though I purchased a ticket, I decided to sit at the front and welcome people in and check them in on the laptop. Well, by the time the last person arrived, the event had already started. And I was thinking, oh, I need to get into the event. But I discovered some magic, which is when the speaker gets done on stage, where do they come hang out?
Up front.
In the lobby
Yep.
with me. So I ended up having
The
this,
lobby's the best place in Secret Knock.
right? It's amazing. Well, this was at somebody else's event. It wasn't even Secret Knock yet. So I'm hanging out in the lobby. I'm cracking jokes with the bodyguard. I'm talking to the speakers. And I get up to go to the bathroom. It's about 2 hours into the event. And when I come back, some guy is sitting behind the table next to my laptop. And in my head, I'm thinking, who's this guy? He's not supposed to be here. So I sit down and he looks at me and says, hey, we have the same color eyes. And I said, you're right. If I was wearing my chucks, we'd be twins. And we just started this banter
This
back
is
and
good.
forth. And I said, what's your name? He said, Greg. I go, oh, I don't know him. And what do you do? He's like, nothing. So I really didn't know, other than we just were bantering back and forth. And you know him, he's such a fun banter guy.
Mhm.
So then he starts telling me all these things that he does. Like he travels around and he interviews people and he's doing a movie and books. And every time he says something, I'm thinking, oh, I want to do that. I want to do
Yeah.
that. I want to do that. And so before I even knew what was happening, I felt these words come from my lower belly, up through my throat, out my mouth, and I blurted out, do you need an assistant?
Wow.
And then my consciousness kicked back in and I went, oh no, like, get it back. Because then he says, I don't know, what are you good at? And I was like, loving people? Like I didn't have
That's a
good
great answer, though.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Thank you. At the time I thought, oh my gosh, I'm such a dork. Like
Well, that's pretty powerful, though.
I didn't know I was going to say that, so I didn't have my answer ready to go. So he says, you see that guy over there? That's my mentor, David Corbin. Why don't you guys go have a conversation? So David and I walk up these top of the stairs where nobody's hanging out. I like to call it our summit. We climb the summit, and I have this little conversation with David Corbin, and he says to me, do you know what commission is? And I said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. He said, let me give you a new definition. To have a co-mission is for your mission and the other person's mission to align so completely that it creates a co-mission, like a double helix. And he said, the moment that your mission is not in alignment with the other person's, you must leave.
You know, it's really weird. And I don't think it's a coincidence anymore now that I'm hearing you tell the stories. When I walked out of the doors of Secret Knock, I just happened to turn left to get myself a tea, and you and David were having a conversation about that co-mission and where you're at that moment. And this is last Secret Knock.
Yeah,
It
he
was
never
wild.
talks
I just
about
overheard it and I just like listened. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I think it's such a powerful message that he doesn't usually talk about on stage. So I try to squeeze it in wherever I
I
can.
get the feeling that David was reminding you at that meeting that, hey, you're here for that, but don't forget about yourself and get lost with Greg.
Exactly.
Because you can get lost and remember yourself. And then you launched Secret Knock for Women.
Yeah, and,
Right
and they're still trying to kick me out of the nest. Both Greg and David are like, Shannon, go do your own thing now. And I'm holding on as tight as I can.
You are bigger and better than it, don't let me.
Well, it's been a lot of fun because, you know, we've launched Secret Knock Women. We've launched the Mastermind Association, which you are a founding
That's the
member.
crowd applauding for you if you hear
Yay,
that in the background.
I'll take it, Shannon.
Yeah, the masterminds, yeah, I can't speak highly enough about it.
Right, and my goal here, my passion is to create communities. So whether it's at Secret Knock or Secret Knock Women or with one of the masterminds, is to create these communities where people come as they are, they trust each other, they know, like each other, and they start doing business with each other, and they find their friends, their soul family here on this planet. And when you have those kinds of people rallying behind you that want to see you succeed, the rest is magic.
You know, there's no coincidence that there's a lot of Karma members who have attended Secret Knock. In fact, Greg Reed is now a Karma member as well. Because anytime people would ask me about what's Karma, and I was the president of the San Diego chapter for 2 years, I would say, you know, it's an organization where we build relationships first. Business happens, but it's always a byproduct. It's never the intention. And that's what Secret Knock is. It's real relationships that happen, and then business comes out of it. But you would never get to that business if you weren't aligned in the same vibrational pattern. You know,
That's where building trust comes from as well.
Exactly.
And the right intention.
Exactly.
Exactly. And when you have a group of 300 people all asking, what can I do to help you? The business just comes. So I like to say that Secret Knock is about 50% alumni, 50% new people. But by lunch on the first day, it just feels like a family reunion. Because everybody has come together. The alumni have taken all the newbies under their wing and shown them the ropes and connected with them. And then it's not uncommon to see people doing NDAs at dinner that night and walking away with new partners and best friends.
Mm-hmm.
We were at a Secret Knock and Johnny was here. Johnny, who you can't see back there with the headset on. And we were talking about just say, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? And I was working with these guys that were doing these big fundings for these things. And this one guy wanted to do a Christ-based film, and he had $100 million to invest. That's what he wanted to do. So John is out there, and he goes, okay, I asked this guy, he's talking a great story about it. So what can I do to help? He goes, I need $100 million for this movie. And I'm in the bathroom at the urinal. John comes in and goes, all right, smart guy, I asked this guy what I can do to help, and he said he needs $100 million. What do you need? I'm like, what's it for? And he tells me, I go, oh yeah, I know a guy. So we walked out, we connected in the field, they talked on the phone, and it went on from there. But it's like weird how this all just falls into a line. It's crazy.
It does. When you're in the flow, everything is ease and grace. And that's the best part, is I don't feel like I work. You know, so I'm launching all these masterminds for Greg and Scott and these other people, and now I'm launching my own. I got to help Eric launch his. So I just have the best job of connecting with people, and I'm serving my purpose. And
I want to launch one too. I think I'm going to need your help on that. I'm serious.
It.
I think it'd be fun.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I'm curious, with Secret Knock, in your experience there, what are some of the challenges you foresee in changing that from the male-dominated sphere that it is now to making it exclusively for women?
Good question.
That is a really good question, and something I'm really passionate about, because what I've noticed is that throughout history, you know, women have played their parts, played their roles, and when it comes to being a really confident woman, a lot of times we don't know what that looks like, what that foundation looks like. So we might try to be overly masculine and be like a bulldozer,
Right. Mm-hmm.
or we might try to be overly playing up the victim side so that people will relate to us, because that's kind of how we've been trained to come together. It's like,
Yes.
oh, this thing happened to me. And while everybody will rally around you and say, oh yeah, me too, and it creates a connection, it doesn't create a powerful place to live.
Which is cool, is you're
That's a good
building your
point.
own story, and you get to choose what that story is.
Exactly. So my intention with building this women's communities is to help these women lead from that place of power. So if you think of the hero's journey, we have our hero sets out on an adventure, there's an obstacle, and after the obstacle comes that lesson. So what do you know about yourself coming out of that challenge that makes you better, smarter, faster, more amazing in some way? You have some kind of super ability now because you came through the challenge, so lead from that place.
That's powerful. I love the idea of having all of that power of the women in one place and space, because it seems in our industry, the building industry, that at times women feel threatened by other women that are successful or have drive, and it's really nice to see when women shift that intention to helping other women. It's just makes them more powerful and more marketable because they're being a mentor and helping other women. So I'm really excited to hear that you're doing that, and it's going to create a platform to where women can thrive and help each other. I love that.
Yeah, when women rally around each other, something amazing happens, and we're so much stronger when we have a sisterhood that has our back.
I feel like you should tell that story about when you took all the women builders down to Cabo and how you kind of brought that out of nowhere. I mean, I know it's relevant. So
Yeah, I did. It's the building industry, like Secret Night sounds that in a lot of industries have just been male dominated. It's just the way that it was, and women were starting to infiltrate everywhere. But about it's a good 25 years ago that I was in the building industry that I started, and I would see all these companies that would sponsor guys trips down to Cabo San Lucas. It's just a quick hour-and-a-half flight from San Diego, so it was an easy 3-day weekend, and they'd go fishing or whatever guys do down there.
I don't know why you put the air quotes on that, but okay.
Fishing. So I proposed to my boss at the time. I said, hey, there's all these guy trips. Why don't we host a women's trip? Because there's all these women that are coming up in purchasing positions for builders.
Yes.
And
Powerful women in the building.
and instead of doing a air quote fishing trip, we can do a spa trip. So
We
we
put that in air
did.
quotes?
Yes. So we hosted 20 women down to Cabo, and that was, like I said, 25 years ago. And those are still some of the strongest bonds that I've ever had. And it was really nice. You mentioned the sisterhood, but having those women interact and network with each other and kind of saying, oh, you're experiencing this in the industry, well, let me help you. This is what I'm doing. This is how I handle this. So it was just really nice to see that networking and camaraderie with the women, and a lot of them, everyone's still really close friends.
Those bonds are so powerful, and I love that we're separating the men and we're separating the women. But what's cool about Sacred Knock, I got to tell you, it seems like it doesn't matter if you're man or woman. You're bonding with all kinds of people as people, as consciousness. I mean, it's crazy. You're attracted to whoever you're talking to at a business level, at a personal level, relationship level. It's awesome.
Well, and that's one of the beautiful things about being alive at this date and time throughout history is women get to be powerful, confident versions of themselves because we have these amazing men that have our backs and are cheering us on. And our men get to be amazing, do what they're doing because they've got amazing, confident women having their back. And when we can come together and create this beautiful energy where everybody's being supported, everybody wins. And when I did Secret Knock Women, people would ask me, oh, well, are men allowed? And I would say, nope, not unless they're on the staff. So the men showed up to support the women, to be in this space. And we even had t-shirts made where the back of the t-shirt said, we support our kick-ass women. We're in this together. We're gonna separate and come apart, but then we're gonna come back together.
Right.
And it just created such beautiful energy that I had women saying, I hate women's events, but I will always come to this one.
I love that.
Yeah, I've been to a few women's events as like a speaker and things like that, and it's weird, the dynamic.
It's different.
Some show up as victims and some show up powerful, and it's weird and interesting.
Yeah. The way that I started the Secret Knock Women event is I told a story about when I had produced the Wishman movie premiere in Hollywood. And I said, all right, ladies, when I did this premiere, it was in June and it was very hot. And I was running around getting everything set up. And at one point I looked down.
Sorry.
Dun, dun, dun. It's getting good. At one point I looked down and the adhesive bra that I was wearing had melted.
Wow.
And I looked down and my bra was down here. And I went, oh my God, I'm in this beautiful beaded gown, welcoming people to my very first red carpet event. And I'm like, oh my God.
How do you subtly grab that?
I had a clipboard. So I covered myself with my clipboard and I'm running to the bathroom. And here's the coolest thing. Women I didn't even know rallied behind me. They got with me in the bathroom. They got me out of my beaded gown. They helped me throw away the old adhesive bra. I had 3 ladies running to my car to get my backup because I guess you need to have backups, which served me that time. But women I didn't know rallied behind me to make sure that when I left that bathroom again, I was put together the way that I wanted to be seen.
Love that.
So I said, all of you look around the room right now because these are the women that will have your back. This is your tribe. We are all in this together. There's no front. Just be yourself
cool.
and have everybody else's
Very
back
cool.
in this room. And if you hear anybody start to talk negatively about somebody else, I want you to remind them to stay positive by using the code word sticky boobs. And it was so
That's
great.
gonna be a thing now.
It is.
Hashtag sticky boobs.
Everybody
It's a
started
movement.
laughing. It created just this open atmosphere for learning to kick off this event. And I still have people texting me and messaging me on Facebook telling me their sticky boob stories.
I love that because
That was
you're
great.
setting an expectation. It's like, and Greg does that a little bit with Secret Knock when he says, just be cool.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if it gets a little hot in here, go up and turn on the air conditioning. If you're thirsty, go get some water. If the lights don't work, then we'll fix them. But just the number one rule is just be cool.
Be cool. We're in this together. We're here to support each other. We're a tribe. We're a family. Let's have some fun.
It's a great message.
Awesome. So what are you excited about now? What's coming up?
Now I am excited because I am launching a women's mastermind called the Fempreneurs with an S at the end, mastermind. And then once I get that going, I actually have a book collaboration idea.
Wow.
That will be written for women. And what I'm most excited about that book is that I got the main character developed by having conversations with my daughter, who's 14. So I told her, I want to have a really strong female character. I don't want her to have been in a victim space. So how do we tell a story of coming through challenges and obstacles without having to first start with your cliche divorced mom or something like that.
Right.
And so being able to come up with this idea with her and bring this out and then have other women be contributing authors, really excited
Very
about
cool.
it. It definitely feels like I'm birthing something.
Yeah, and I
It's
think
part of
that
my soul.
that's also a point to note that not only are you doing all of these amazing things and being an entrepreneur, you're also a mother of 4 and you still have energy to take care of everybody and your kids and yourself. It's pretty dynamic.
Oh, thank you.
Superwoman.
Thank you. I think it's about having fun and finding that joy and that euphoria that you talked about at the beginning.
Yeah.
I get to be happy. I choose to be alive. It wasn't always the case when I was younger. I didn't want to survive, but here I am. I have a story to tell. I have so much love to give, and it fuels me and it keeps me going each day.
You can feel it just being around you, and I really like that.
Too. Yeah, it's really cool.
Very positive energy, and it's powerful.
Well, I think we're good on time, so thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for sharing your time and energy with us.
I love connecting with other cool cats, as we would say, and like-minded people who are doing amazing things on this planet. So thank you for the message that you are bringing out to everybody to create this community.
Anywhere people can get a hold of you, like
How do we
to
find
help
you?
support your mission, or just
ShannonParsons.com.
perfect.
That's Parsons with an S at the end because we're plural. There's a lot of us.
Love that. Thanks.
Go with us.
Thank you.